So it's another rainy day out, so maybe some train room time and saw shop time is in order for the day. So I'll turn it on. I have a few new, for me, acquisitions, so maybe I can show those off. And let me start by turning on the layout and then stopping the blinking light routine. And these are the trains I had going before, so let's just do a couple of laps of them so it kind of ties into the past. This is my kind of junk pile K-line Trainmaster. I've got one that's not a junk pile, and I got this one right here that has, interestingly enough, all the bells and whistles, literally, where the other one does not. But this one's shell is kind of beat up, where the other one has a nice clean shell. I have it down at the club layout in Cortland, pulling a set of Lackawanna passenger cars that I had acquired, a horse trade, and it'll stay down there for a while. Kind of interesting, there's not a lot of people who like to run O gauge, O scale trains around here. HL seems to be more popular, but I do. So I put a fair amount of time down on that layout because it's got larger radius curves, so I can run my bigger locomotives without it looking goofy. I guess it looks goofy, but less goofy. How's that? So let's do a lap. This one here is what I call a zombie because it has a rectifier, which takes the track voltage from AC, changes it to DC, and then has a regulator where it basically tries to output a constant voltage regardless of what the input voltage is. And I've discovered that the pull-mores on these old YNLs like DC, so it runs really good. So let's go do a lap. Yeah, so both of these are regulator rectified on pull-mores, and they run good. And I've gone through this a bunch of times, but one of the benefits you get is relatively steady train speed, even if the track voltage varies quite a bit. And for whatever reason, the DC fed pull mores seem to pull a little bit better. So even on the grades where it goes up, you know, were I to feed the same amount of voltage to the DC fed pull mores as the standard AC fed pull mores, the DC fed pull mores seem to lose less speed on the grades and pull more cars. So been running these now for actually quite a while. The blue one has got a lot of hours on it actually. So kind of testing the durability of the components. Seems like it's working. But what I want to do is kind of go back in time and change up to Steam and show off a couple of cars that I acquired from eBay. One of those deals where didn't really want them, but the price was low, so I kind of set a bid that I didn't expect to get, and lo and behold, I ended up with those cars. So that's what's next. Okay. So now we have a couple things going on here. First is, if you listed in there, there's a fan going. That's because I have 10 volts of track voltage, AC, and this one's got the regulator rectifier in the tender that I put in, but also a light dimmer to control the speed of this locomotive right here. we'll just start feeding some voltage until it begins to move. A little high-pitched squeal is the card for this. You can get a better one that doesn't, but I left it because it sounds like a steam-driven generator that they used to have in those things. See how slow I can make it go. How's that? Turn it off. But what I wanted to show today was not just a creeper, because you can, and you know, I can improve the materials and make it run a little slower if I want to. But this is my new acquisitions, these two Pennsylvania passenger cars by MTH, and they are lighted. They've got die-cast 3-axle trucks and die-cast couplers, and they've got interiors. See the seats in there, which means I can put little people in there if I want to. And I know of at least 2 more cars in this series, which I eventually have to acquire, obviously, right? Can't just have 2. And it kind of fits my steam, locomotives in Pennsylvania. The scale is, I consider, semi-scale versus, 027, so it's a little bit big for the 027 steam locomotives. But their detail's nice, the paint job is nice, the trucks are nice, tapered wheels. It seems like pretty well built cars. They run smooth. So I like them. I will endeavor to complete the set over time. Got these for the right price, so I'm pretty happy with them. So that's one acquisition. And the other is this one right here with a end of train blinker, and it works. Got this from the store for like $35, I guess. And yet again, die-cast with spring trucks. Reasonable detail, I think. Virtually no time on them. And I think a very well done car, actually. So those are the 3 cars that have added their presence to the layout. So I guess what I'll do now is, actually I'm going to change this up. I want to put a GG1 on here, because the GG1s, they were a 1930s innovation, so they ran right alongside steam, so that's period. Might scale a little bit better to those cars too. Yeah, there's a K-line. You know, I kind of call those stubbies because scale-wise it may be the right height, but they're only about 2/3 the length in scale of what a GG1 would look like. But I like them. They run really good. Again, this is the K-line with the twin vertical can motors, and these are MTH cars. And that's MTH, by the way, but all the guts are by Hilltop Saw Shop. And there's my $3 locomotive in the back there. Gotta have it running.